Why'd you get on those Russians? Secretary Clay gave it to you, right? And you messaged him.
That's impossible, John.
I want to find out something.
What do you have?
If you want to know what I know, then you gotta get me out of here. And fast. Why do you think I didn't tell this person to reach your mom? Take a look back. They can get to me.
Honestly, when I first of all, taking on a little trip. Standing in the wall. Basically,
Kid told me.
Make believe nonsense stops you from using common sense. Common sense that you're born with. Literally, you've been taught to be obeying fucking children. Never to grow the fuck up to be responsible children. Never to grow up to be responsible men and women and men who know who they are 100% and could never get lifted up as to the physical way.
Medicine guy, it's not psychologist,
Man, you ain't be no psychologist. You just gotta use common fucking sense to navigate through life. Because the pastor is nothing but a mind playing with person that get paid to play with your mind. Literally, you pay 10% to the pastor, not to this fucking God bullshit. Pastor, they'll never understand the lie. You have to think for yourself to know better. And thinking for yourself is just common sense. You're not under someone standing over you, beating something in you that don't make sense. That's the reason why you're not under. You over the bullshit.
$426 billion. It's great to be here with you, Shannon.
Okay, so let's start with those auto tariffs. 25% tariff kicking in on foreign-made autos and the auto parts that end up in U.S. cars. Investopedia says this: if dealerships pass on the full cost to consumers, that would mean an additional to $5,000 to $15,000 on imported cars. And because parts that are imported end up in U.S. cars, they could go up substantially, some estimates by thousands of cars as well. Lucas is reporting there where the president says he doesn't care if the prices go up on U.S. cars. So what's the message to the U.S. consumer?
You don't need no cars right now.
The message is that
We don't need no
tariffs,
cars right now.
tariffs are jobs, tariffs are national security, tariffs are great for America, tariffs will make America great again. And
It means that we don't need to buy no fucking car right now. We need to wait a little while. That's what that means.
Shannon, you have a couple of
That's what this means.
nice historical examples, I think, to give some comfort to your audience. First of all, during the first term, when we imposed historic tariffs on China on steel and aluminum, the same people Investopedia on down who were saying there was going to be inflation and recession were dead wrong. we got price stability, and we got prosperity, and we're going to get that again. But the interesting thing, historically, and particularly for auto tariffs, something called the chicken tax. Let me tell you the history of this. Back in the 60s, we had what was then West Germany and France raising tariffs on our chickens, on poultry. And Lyndon Johnson responded with what would be called the chicken tax, a tax on light trucks. And we saw almost immediately that the imports here of Volkswagen vans, the old hippie van, started going down. And what happened was we had this just renaissance of light truck development. And then in 1980, when
No fabrication. This one was invented by a writer. That's false. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's no way. We got you. Needed something. Things were going too well. A little clip from our friends at CNN that just published that sentence. Shockwaves and
I said that Dr. Fauci released that fucking coronavirus on us to slow down Donald Trump's presidency.
chills, rednecks, bibs, people tinkle in their little panties. So scary because things are rolling. And the Democrat Party's never been on a worse foot. It's incredible. The corporate media is straight writing the obituary for the Democrat Party. George Clooney just did a 60-minute interview where he's like, I'm not even a Democrat anymore. I refuse to even admit that I supported Joe Biden. I'm so embarrassed. It's bad out there. Now, on this show, we regularly say, this is going to be aliens, right? It's got to be an alien invasion. They're going to stage an alien invasion. They're going to find ancient caverns underneath these pyramids. They're going to totally explain a brand new human civilization that existed 40,000 years ago. Oh wait, they're literally doing that right now. They're literally running we found a new civilization out of the pyramids at this very moment. Next will be the aliens. Trust me on this. Project Bluebeam. Next will be the aliens. That's what they're gonna do. They have to come up with something because World War III, which was, they had a reservation at 7 p.m. sharp for World War III, that's off the table now. Ran out of nukes. Unfortunately, the chef and the busboys quit. Donald Trump was elected president, and now peace is setting about the entire earth. Good. So they're going to have to quit. These things are going too well for President Trump. And, listen, I'm a big fan of the president, so you'd say that, I listen to you. Clearly, you should really have skin in the game. You have a map up on your wall, right? Yo, let me tell you, I will show you in print from a network. Because salting rock-tears out of their skulls on election night, it ruined their cameras. Jim Acosta got fired for it. Jim Acosta tried so much on election night, the sodium just locked in camera gear. He destroyed like $1 million worth of camera equipment inside the CNN studios. It was atrocious. The CNN hates President Trump. And they straight up admit it. We're cooked. The Democrat Party is just cooked. They got nothing. And most importantly, President Trump is more popular than he's ever been. Right now, this clip is just a few hours old ago.
I think sometimes it's important to do a little bit of reality check and take a little different spin at the numbers. We're going to do that right here because all we talk about is how unpopular Donald Trump is. But in reality, he's basically more popular than he was at any point in term number one and more popular than he was when he won election back in November of 2024. What are we talking about? His net favorable rating right now comes in at -4 points. Compare that to where he was when he won in November of 2024 when he was at -7 points, or March of 2017 when he was minus 10 points. So when you compare Trump against himself, he's actually closer to the apex than he is to the bottom of the trough. And of course, that's so important because Donald Trump, historically speaking, has his numbers underestimated. So I think it's very important to compare him to himself to understand he's actually more popular now than he was when he won, or certainly where he was at this point back in his first term. The bottom line is Trump is more towards the ceiling than he is towards the floor.
So when you do that, makes me sort of, so when you look at this compared to historically, what does it tell you about the percentage of folks that think the country itself, with him at the helm, is on the right track?
This, I think, is rather important because, again, the polls have historically underestimated Donald Trump. What is a metric that might get an understanding of how popular he may actually be? So let's take a look at the percentage of the country who say that we're on the right track. It's actually a very high percentage when you compare it to some historical numbers. What are you talking about? According to Marist, 45% say that we're on the right track. That's the second highest that Marist has measured since 2009. How about NBC News? 44%. That's the highest since 2004. The bottom line is the percentage of Americans who say we're on the right track is through the roof. And if you were to compare it to when presidents have historically been reelected, of course, Trump is not constitutionally eligible to run for reelection, but I think it sort of puts it in perspective. 42% of the country says the country is on the right track when the incumbent party is reelected. And also keep in mind, back when Kamala Harris lost, the Democrats were turned out of power. Only about 27 to 28% of the country said the country is on the right track. The bottom line is right now, a much higher percentage of the country says we're on the right track. And finally, Sarah Snyder, I want to put it all in the congressional generic ballot.
What about Congress?
What about Congress? Because those are the folks who are up in 2026. And take a look here. The Dems versus the Republicans on the generic congressional ballot. Back in November of 2020, when Democrats won, it was plus 5 Democrats. Tied in November of 2022, plus 1 in November of 2024 when Republicans maintain control. And then you look at March of 2025. This number looks a lot more like 2022 or 2024 when Republicans won control of Congress. The bottom line is, yes, Donald Trump's approval rating is lower than compared to a lot of his predecessors, but it's higher than compared to himself. A lot of folks say the country's on the right track, and the generic congressional ballot looks a heck of a lot more like when Republicans win than when Democrats win.
It will be interesting to see if any of what just happened with these leaking of the text plays into it in a later poll. But this is very telling.
This is very telling. At least at this point, Republicans are still in the catbird seat.
If you only have a few $100s to invest right now, tap the button below and watch the free training that shows you how to install the Trade GPT app. It pixels with 87% accuracy, and it's beating the pants off all the professional traders right now. The secret sauce behind this AI is something called the law of momentum. It's a system used by the most advanced hedge funds on earth. It's going absolutely nuts in the Digicoin market. It's printing profits hand over fist, no matter which direction the market goes. Up, down, sideways, doesn't matter. For example, when Bitcoin fell from 70k down to the 50 too long ago, it's an AI trading system that caught the crash early and lifted its positions. Profit from the crash. There's no human caught this in time. Relying on this AI is how green behind the ears newbies are raking up enough to win. No matter which one.
We had to play the whole thing. You had to play the whole thing. You had to play the full 2 minutes. The reason why is you suck the game on foot at the very end. Sure, the game is afoot. Sorry, it's not maybe there at the end, it hurts my knees. Go. Check it out. Fast. Trump. They couldn't just let Perry introduce the pollster as CNN because we're going through the Democrat Party. So why don't we join in our friends and CEOs, and then we're going to cover this new this hoax against the Trump administration, and some very dark secrets that were just revealed about rats inside of the ship. Okay, but first, Democrats, rats. Behind the curtain, Dems' dark deep hole. Okay, it's also what they call Jasmine Crockett, the underback Congress. Top Democrats tell us their party is in the deepest hole in nearly 15 years, and they fear that things could get actually worse. Let's just go through these bullet points here. By the way, this is from Axios. This is from left-wing PR. Is what Axios says. Here's what they say about their own party that they donate to. What is slowest favorability ever? No popular national leaders who've driven insufficient numbers to stop most legislation in Congress, a durable minority on the Supreme Court, dwindling influence over the media ecosystem, and right-wing podcasters, social media accounts ascendant. Young voters are growing dramatically more conservative. A bad 2026 map for Senate races. Democrat Senate retirements across the board, and there are only 3 House Republicans in districts that Kamala Harris won. That's a very bad sign for a Democrat surge. There were 23 when Hillary Clinton lost. And thanks to the number of people fleeing blue states, the map for Democrats to win the presidency will just get harder in 2030. Shout out to the chat. We did this. Shout out to the chat. Just want to say love for the chat. Love to you in the chat. We did this, right? So we create this crisis environment for Democrats where it's really existential. When you back an animal, you're a fighter. Klein's a fighter. Klein's a fighter, right? Here with me in the studio. Does it professionally, teaches it. Got a little photo. Klein, make sure you get a photo of you like with your class. It's really cool. Anyway, the point is that when you get a fight, like some fighters, when you back them up to the corner, it gets pretty nasty. And it really throw haymakers to potentially hurt you. Like jury robbers. Animals, when they feel like their lives are being threatened, they really get hurt. Back a dog in the corner, back a mangy dog in the corner with rabies. It's not good. Right now, you have the mangy dog of the Democrat Party not ready to get put down. It ain't good. It's existential. Can I please see the map one more time? I know that the mic's right here, so I'm just going to point. Ladies and gentlemen, in the year 2030, which is really not that far from now, in the year 2030, based on congressional reapportionment, this map right here will prove out that Democrats can win Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Democrats can win Michigan, and it won't matter. Republicans will still have the electoral victory. Because Florida is getting 4 new seats. Texas is getting 5 new seats. California, New York, losing seats. Minnesota, losing seats. Minnesota. All these blue states are losing seats. You're talking a proper crisis, and Donald Trump's the first president to ever pick a vice president for the sole purpose, not because of his skin color or because of his genitalia. This is exactly what Joe Biden did. How'd that work out for him? Joe Biden promised he would do it. Donald Trump's the first president ever to pick a vice president based entirely on succession. Trump knows he's got 1 term. Steve Bannon says he's going to change that. Okay, we'll see. But as of right now, Trump's got 1 term. J.D. Vance was selected to be the vessel of Trumpism and MAGA and America First into the future, knowing that this map here, will equal a virtual impossibility for Democrats to win the popular vote, to win the Electoral College.
So this video is only for my fellow Texas residents. If you haven't seen this yet, basically, anyone who lives in a
Electoral College. Yo, it's getting bad. They got to bring out the big guns. They got to stop this now. They got to stop the bleeding. Jasmine Crockett ain't doing it. Attacking reporters. We'll talk about that. Schumer ain't doing it. They got to bring in the big guns. The suckers and losers, dude. We talked about this yesterday. I just want to put the article up on the screen. Trump says that Americans who died in war are losers and are suckers. Matched with a photo of President Trump visiting families in Arlington Cemetery, something you never saw with Joe Biden. Joe Biden looked at his watch as the bodies of 13 service members killed at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan rolled off the plane in a dignified transfer, and he said, "How can I get out of here fast enough?" Scumbag. President Trump loves our troops, and they love him back. And anybody who's ever watched with open eyes knows this. The man who perpetrated this hoax, this man, the writer of this, Jeffrey Goldberg, see that right there? The man who perpetrated this hoax never was able to give names, quotes, was never able to substantiate this reporting, ran it in the globalist neocon rag called The Atlantic to try and destroy President Trump with his military-loving base and the American people. This man is currently responsible for a new hoax. Hold on the American people. We can straight up prove to you that it was a hoax.
Let me know how you get on.
Something remarkable has happened. So, Jeffrey Goldberg, this scum,
Thanks for stopping in.
has not only made up this hoax, but also hoaxed us into wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, hoaxed us after 9/11. Jeffrey Goldberg, a literal wrap-up smear artist for the deep state. This is the man's job. He hoaxed through the 51 intel experts, spies who lied. There isn't a pail of water for the deep state that this guy hasn't carried. He is literal scum on earth. He's the last guy you'd ever want inside of your group chat if you are planning even a birthday party for your nephew in the Trump administration, much less bombing Yemen, large-scale military actions. Ladies and gentlemen, sure enough, Jeffrey Goldberg was put on the group texts. Okay? Now, I'm going to play a little clip of Jeffrey Goldberg because they can't help themselves. They got to run and do as many interviews as possible because that's what all this stuff's about, right? It's not about securing, it's not about national security. Sleeves. I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you it to a man. If I were put on a chat, it doesn't matter the administration, if I were accidentally added to a chat, yo, I'm on Signal, I send a lot of messages on Signal. Nothing I wouldn't want on the front of the New York Times, because Signal is a deep state messaging app. Signal was designed by the CIA. Signal has backdoors that clearly intel agents and experts can hack into and get all your messages. Tucker Carlson straight up said the NSA hacked his Signal chat. Tucker Carlson said this on the Nelk Boys podcast. Grab that clip. This is an app. Send a ton of messages on Signal to people that of relative importance, right, in the country. Again, nothing I wouldn't want published on the front page of the New York Times. Nothing I wouldn't say on the show. You know what I mean? But it's a good little app to communicate on. Nothing wrong with using Signal. Oh, okay. Anyway, the point is that the NSA hacked Tucker Carlson's Signal when they wanted to get his messages. Of course, they're going to hack this Signal. We speculated yesterday that maybe if the app was created by the deep state, maybe if the app is like a created by a black splinter cell inside the CIA, maybe if they did that so they could control the app and monitor the text messages of people on it,
well, that's
install it. Maybe that's why they install it on every government agent's phone, so that they'd have a secret backdoor to all their comms. Maybe, just maybe, this was a maybe, just maybe, this was a new hoax, and the Trump administration's been hoaxed. And the single worst reporter on planet Earth, the guy responsible for this article, Jeffrey Goldberg, the most Trump-deranged, hoax, scum, Russiagator,
later.
Deep state apparatchik. I mean, again, you just could not. It's like adding Satan to the group chat at the Vatican. You can't find a worse person into your chat. It doesn't work. It's like if you're an NFL team and you add, you're going through your